What's going on, everyone? We are officially here. The Los Angeles Lakers versus the Denver Nuggets. First one to win 4 of the next 7 games is going to the NBA Finals. This is a rematch of the bubble year 2020, and just like that year, I'm expecting the Los Angeles Lakers to win. Now, this is not going to be an easy task at all, and this is very likely going to come down to which two stars play better, right? The battle between Jokic and Anthony Davis is going to be massive. Is Anthony Davis going to be able to not stop? You're never going to stop Jokic, but can you make things difficult? Can you contain him? Can you wear him down over the course of a 7-game series and make it so the Lakers don't have to constantly double team or trap? There's also the likelihood that the Lakers just make him a scorer, because Jokic, what's so beautiful about him is his ability to go get 30 to 40 points, but also dish out 10 to 15 assists. That's where the problem lies. You know, if the Lakers can just let him go get 30 plus a night, but he's not getting the 12 assists per game, then that could be the difference between winning and losing a series. Also, LeBron James, look for LeBron to be a lot more aggressive this series. Darvin Ham has talked about how LeBron James is really just kind of saving himself for the later rounds. Well, here we are, right? We're in the later rounds. And I made a whole video earlier today diving into LeBron James and why I think he's going to play great. Check it out after this video if you haven't seen it. But I really do think it's going to come down to these two guys kind of carrying and being aggressive and attacking the rim on multiple fronts. Now, Denver hasn't seen this team, and that's another advantage that I haven't really seen very many people talk about, right? The Lakers and the Denver Nuggets, they split the season series 2 apiece, and that was with the old team. And the old team gave Denver fits. Why? Because they had several guys that could apply rim pressure and make things difficult for Denver. Denver is a terrible rim defending team. They're one of the worst. So in comparison, for example, the Lakers are a minus 7.8. So what that means is, let's say a team scores 100 points a game at the rim. That means that team that usually scores 100 points against the Lakers are scoring around 92 points. Now, let's look at it the other way for Denver. Denver is a plus 2.8, which means that, just like the opposite with the Lakers, let's say you score 100 points at the rim against a normal team. Against Denver, you're scoring almost 103 points. Denver is terrible when it comes to this, and that was a problem that they had and dealt with and with the previous roster. Well, now this roster has just as much, if not more, right? Austin Reeves has came into his own at this point. They never saw this level of Austin Reeves. Lonnie Walker gave them some fits and had some success. He should continue that. Dennis Schroeder was huge in that. You got LeBron James. You have Rui Hachimura, who they didn't see. This is going to be, and I talked about this before, this is going to rest primarily, this is going to be a real battle of role guys from both sides. Because again, you're going to have the battle of, a Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic versus Anthony Davis and LeBron James. And that battle is going to be very important. Whoever wins that battle very likely wins that game. But the other key very likely could be the role guys and rotation guys. Lakers are deeper, have more guys that are better, have more intangibles, right? Like Michael Porter Jr. is great, but he's just so perimeter oriented. He's not really a threat the way that most 6'10 guys are, right? Like you can throw Austin Reeves on him and be comfortable with that, even though he has like 4 or 5 inches on Reeves, because he's not going to night in and night out, game in, game out, possession in and possession out, going to be aggressive in attacking the rim. He's going to want to shoot his 10 threes a game, right? Murray is great, but he at times disappears, and there's real question marks at times about him being the number 2 guy. Is he going to be able to keep up the consistency needed to take out the Lakers? I'm not worried about Jokic. I'm worried about everyone else for Denver, which is why I think the Lakers are going to win this series. KCP is great, but how does he feel playing against his old team? Do the jitters get to him? Does, his inexperience at times get to him? And I'm not talking about inexperience of like being in the moment. He was on that championship team, but he is a guy that can shrink in moments. He did it with the Lakers. He's done it at times throughout the course of his career. Aaron Gordon. How much of a threat is Aaron Gordon going to be on the offensive end? Like all of these other guys, I don't know if you can count on them the way that we've seen with Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves has gone out and closed games and won games for the Lakers. Lonnie Walker has done that. D'Angelo Russell has done that. Rui Hachimura has done that. Dennis Schroeder has done that. All in the playoffs, right? Schroeder did it against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And we don't win that game if it's not for him, right? You saw D'Lo close out the Memphis Grizzlies. You saw Austin Reeves in game 1 close out Memphis Grizzlies, and then in game 6 against the Warriors go off. You saw Lonnie Walker in game 4 close out the Warriors in the fourth quarter. You saw Rui Hachimura in several games in the Memphis series close this out, which he's going to be big. He's going to be massive in this series, right? These are all things that the Lakers have proven. Where Denver, they struggled at times against a Minnesota team that they should have ran through. And then they go and they play the Phoenix Suns, and Devin Booker has a historic run. And Denver should have swept those guys. Like, seriously, they should have swept the Phoenix Suns, maybe lost in one. And at times it felt like the Phoenix Suns had a chance. They just didn't have the depth. They didn't have the defense. And nobody could score outside of Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. And they still struggled against those two guys, right? And don't get me wrong, they're great elite scorers, but they were combining for 80 points a game. You don't think LeBron and AD can do that against the defense? Absolutely. They have nobody to guard Anthony Davis. They have nobody to guard LeBron James. I've seen people talking about Aaron Gordon. There's not one guy on this roster for Denver that is an elite to great defender. Nobody. All of these guys, from Aaron Gordon, Bruce Brown, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Michael Porter Jr., DeJounte Murray, all of them are around league average. They play good team defense at times, but they still can't prevent teams. They've struggled with teams getting to the rim at will and getting possessions. They need to figure out how to slow down and stop LeBron James coming out with the head of steam. Lakers are also the best in transition in the playoffs, and Denver is the worst transition defense in the playoffs. So Lakers are just going to run on these guys, and they're not going to just, from every single metric you look at, the Lakers have the advantage. Now, and I'm not saying that this means the Lakers are going to sweep Denver. If Denver loses game 1, Denver's in trouble. Like, this series might be over in 4, 5, or 6. Because game 1, in my opinion, gives Denver the best opportunity because the Lakers are going to have to get acclimated to the elevation. The Denver Nuggets have the best home court in the entire league. That's a fact. That's not like personal opinion or anything like that. That is a fact. And it's because of the 7,000 feet elevation. So teams have to adjust to that, and it's hard, right? Tired legs, all that stuff, especially at this point, you got to get acclimated, right? So if Lakers go into Denver and they beat them game 1, I don't know if Denver's going to be able to win at all or even make this a contest. They have to win game 1 if you're Denver, because the Lakers haven't lost 2 straight games with LeBron James in this roster since they got put together. Since the trade deadline, when LeBron James plays with this roster, they have not lost 2 straight. On top of that, they're the best defense, right? Denver has the best offense, but they've played against 2 of the worst defenses in the league. And they still put up 125 points, give them credit. But we saw what happened in Sacramento and the Golden State series, right? They were putting up 125 a game. And then Golden State ended up playing the Lakers, and that stopped. The Lakers are holding teams to 105 points per game. You want me to go further? The Lakers, in crunch time, are holding teams to 75 points per 100 possessions. To put that in comparisons, second place is over 100 points per 100 possessions. The Lakers are 25 points better than the next best team because that's how good their defense is. They can score. This is going to be the easiest defense the Lakers have ever faced and likely will face the rest of the playoffs. And so are Denver going to be able to do enough to stop the Lakers from scoring? The Lakers got whatever they wanted from Golden State. And yes, I know some people look at that and go, oh, well, it was the size advantage, right? Yes, but they still had the tools to make things difficult for the Lakers, and they just couldn't. Memphis was much better matched up with their defensive players, defensive player of the year. They also had, 2 or 3 guys on the all defensive team, could switch that pick and roll with LeBron and AD. Same thing with the Warriors. Every time they tried to ran that, they were able to shut that down. All of those things. Denver's not going to be able to do that. And so, again, how does Denver stop the Lakers? This is why I think the Lakers win, because Denver's going to have to blow the Lakers out every game to win. Can they do that 4 times? I don't think so. The Warriors couldn't do that 4 times. And on top of that, if it comes down to crunch time, you're going to see LeBron turn that clock back and close these games out. They have no one to stop him. You have several guys that can go and close games out. And Denver's defense isn't going to be able to get stops. They're not. And so if you have one team, let's say it's a tie game with 3 minutes left and the Lakers lock down, I trust the Lakers to get the stops down the stretch to win the game. Denver, I don't. I don't see Denver being able to do it. They haven't. They can't. I mean, every metric backs it up. Everything. And now maybe Denver locks in and they find some secret sauce and something that works. But the Warriors couldn't even figure out how to slow down the Lakers, which the Warriors are arguably one of the best teams in the league still, as poorly as they've been. And on top of that, they have Steve Kerr, who is a tactician when it comes to that stuff. And they weren't able to figure out Draymond Green told you himself, we couldn't figure out the Lakers. So I think the Lakers, if they win game 1, this is over swiftly. This series might be over in 5 if they win game 1. If they lose game 1, then I think you'll have game 2. And then it's going to come down to, can Denver beat the Lakers in LA? They haven't been able to all year. Both games the Lakers won were in LA. The Lakers haven't lost a game at home in the playoffs. They haven't lost a home game since the Chicago game, in which LeBron just came back. And they were missing guys, and it just was a mess, right? So again, this is a different team. This is a team that Denver hasn't seen. Is Jokic going to be able to slow down Anthony Davis? I don't think so. Is Denver going to be able to double team AD like the Grizzlies and like the Warriors did? And we saw how that worked. It didn't work out for them because the Lakers have so many guys that can go and just go get whatever they want and get to their spots and beat you off the dribble and all that stuff. Like, Denver's offense is so much more predictable. And if the Lakers can just play one-on-one rather than having to play 2 or 3-on-1, that's going to make things so much easier. Not just that, but the thing that gave the Lakers fits was the Steph pick and roll, which they're not going to have to worry about with Jokic and whomever, and Murray, let's say, just because they're 2 completely different players, and the type of pick and roll, all that stuff, right? But the other thing, too, is when you're talking about the Golden State Warriors drawing Anthony Davis out, right? Because that was the whole game plan. Let's draw Anthony Davis out from the paint. Anthony Davis had to go out and challenge. He didn't have to go that far out, but he had to go out and challenge because most of the time, like 90% of the time, it was Steph Curry. Denver doesn't have anybody that's Steph Curry. If Jokic wants to stay out on the perimeter and shoot 10 threes a game, if you're the Lakers, you let that happen. Allow them to do that. You live with that. If Jokic goes 8 for 10 from 3, sure. Jokic doesn't like to take a lot of threes. He'll take them from time to time, but he doesn't like to shoot a lot of threes. So if you're Anthony Davis and they try to bring Jokic out, let him shoot it. You don't have to come that far out, and you're long enough to where if he tries to step in and shoot like, a 18-footer, you can outstretch and, try to block the shot or just make things difficult, right? I don't see Denver having the impact on the Lakers and the Lakers not being able to adjust to it. The Lakers just have too many pieces, too many tools, right? They still have several guys on the bench that can come in and punish the Nuggets. The Nuggets aren't as deep as the Lakers. And how does Denver adjust to the Lakers? The last series with the Warriors and the Grizzlies, they did everything they could to adjust and try to figure out the Lakers, and nothing worked. And they had more depth in many ways than Denver. I mean, the only person that Denver's really running off the bench heavily is Bruce Brown. And they're playing Aaron Gordon at center at times. Rui Hachimura can play center against Aaron Gordon. He's not going to have to worry about Kevon Looney and stuff like that. Like, there's so many advantages that the Lakers have. I just don't see this being a thing. I think LeBron's going to pick it up. LeBron's averaging 25-10, roughly 25-10 and 6 on 50% shooting. So right then and there, he's already better than everybody on the Nuggets but Jokic. And that's not even counting Anthony Davis, who is better than anybody on that roster, except for maybe Jokic. And I don't see, I think the Lakers have the advantage in the role players. I think the Lakers have the advantage in the defense. I think they have the advantage in the stars. I trust Anthony Davis and LeBron James more than I trust Jokic and Murray. I just do. I think Murray's might have games where he just completely vanishes. And when he vanishes, he's almost unplayable. But Anthony Davis, when he vanishes on the offensive end, he's still giving you the best defense in the league. So there's still value there. I just think the Lakers are the better team. I do. I'm going to pick the Lakers in 6 games, but if the Lakers win game 1, I think they win this in 5, maybe even 4. I genuinely do. Because if the Lakers win game 1, I don't think they're going to play around with game 2 the way that they did in the Warriors and the Grizzlies series. And then I don't think Denver can beat them at home. So look out. If Lakers win game 1, in my opinion, the series is over. The Lakers win in 5. If they lose game 1, I think they win game 2, 3, 4, lose in 5, and then win in 6. That's my guess. But I trust the Lakers. All the stats, all the numbers, all the metrics, all work. I said the same thing for the Grizzlies, same thing for the Warriors. People told me I was delusional, and look what happened. Lakers got it done. Numbers are numbers for a reason. Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't have any biases. Numbers they might not tell you the whole picture, but they tell you a good enough picture. That's usually why it's right more times than not. And does Denver have no shot? Of course not. Denver absolutely has a shot. They've been the number 1 seed for a reason. And this isn't to just completely discredit the Nuggets. I just don't see a scenario where the Nuggets beat the Lakers 4 times. I don't. Could they maybe get it to 7? Possibly. I don't. I think Lakers handle it in 6. If the Lakers win, I think this ends up being swiftly. And I'm going to follow the trends of the last 2 games. But if the Lakers win game 1 like they did in the first 2 series, this series is over quickly. I don't know if Denver's going to be able to beat them. Because if they win game 1, that means they already acclimated to, that means the elevation isn't a problem. They don't have the defense to put a game together. So unless they just shoot the lights out game 2, I think the series would be over quick. But anyway, as always, is a discussion. So I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Again, the Denver Nuggets have not faced this Lakers team, so they don't know how to game plan for them. See, the beauty of the regular season, although the regular season doesn't tell you everything, it gives you an idea. It gives you an idea of like what worked, what didn't, what are the flaws, what are the strengths, what are the X, Y, and Z, right? And that's why a lot of times things that you see in the regular season do translate to the playoffs. And that's because teams already had a 4-game sample size. The Lakers have a 4-game sample size of Denver. They played Denver 4 times, full roster, full everything. Denver hasn't played the Lakers once with this roster. Not once. So that could be a huge difference too, because the Lakers might know how to already game plan against Denver, where Denver might be completely clueless. So just something to keep in mind. But again, love your thoughts and opinions. Let me know down in the comments.